Hey guys, it's Max. Let's take a look at these Defiance funds and see what's going on. I think I titled this report Morning Update, but I've been working on this ever since the morning. I've actually been working on this since last night. I just can't get my spreadsheets fixed no matter what I do. And also, I'm using a backup computer that just absolutely sucks. It's a great computer, don't get me wrong, but it's Windows, and Windows just absolutely blows for what I'm trying to do. So I do graphic arts. That's my other job. I volunteer for a nonprofit, and I need to do Photoshop and Illustrator and video editing and stuff, and trying to do it on a Windows machine. No bueno. No bueno. So I'm so far behind. I don't know if I'll ever get the Jay interview out. I mean, it's one of the biggest interviews of my life. I've had it for a week and I'm too backed up to get it out. So I apologize. I have another interview with another fund manager that I did last week that may never come out. I've just never been this behind in my life. All right, well, let's look at these Defiance funds and see what they're doing. Because I did get my spreadsheet working. Finally, this is the only good thing I can say. So I worked on this 2 hours last night, then since 7:30 this morning, and I think I got all the damn bugs run out of this thing. Man, I just remind me never to go on vacation again, or just I should have left the spreadsheet with one of you guys to maintain it. It's simple. There's 3 or 4 numbers. Not simple. It takes 30 minutes a day or something, but it's simple if you don't get behind. All right. Next time I'm going to leave it to one of you guys to maintain if I go on vacation. All right. Well, these guys sold 128 contracts at the 19,870 level. Right now, they're 2 points in the money. They're making $1 million, 10 cents up on the month. That's great. 66 cents a share dividend estimate. It's early. We're only 3 days into the month. So, I mean, but, we're doing fine. All right. So let's look at this really quick. All right. So, and I got the profit box. I finally got everything updated, but like I say, all this other stuff is coming at the expense of Jay's interview and my interview with another fund manager. I cannot get caught up. All right, so you can see, I was trying to blow it up a little bit, but you can see we're just above the strike price. So that means full profit right now. Nice job. Okay, so let's go over here and check out JEPY. I think this thing finally works too. I think these numbers are all finally just these 3 rows. It took me from 11 o'clock last night till just now to get these 3 rows correct on all different just to catch up the past 3 days on 3 different things. And the reason is because it references stuff from when I was gone and I'm missing data. So I had to go back and find it or fill it in or recreate it. Anyway, I'm sorry I didn't have this update out this morning, but the good news is QQY is doing great. Okay, the good news is JEPY is doing all right. They're supposed to make 330,000. They're up about half of that, or a little more than half of that right now, 180. Okay, so they sold the 54.85 strike for just about $16. They're 7 points in the money right now, so let's see what that looks like. Yeah, they haven't been as strong as SPX hasn't been as strong as the NASDAQ, and they haven't been able to escape their strike price yet. All right. All right, so IWMY. Oh, back to JEPY. Let's check the dividends. At 33 cents. You got to be kidding me. Let me make sure this is correct. Yeah, it's correct. Okay, well, it's only 3 days into the month, so let's not get too excited about that yet. But that would be a low dividend. Of course, the way things have been going, if the market, if we stay in this bull run and the market just keeps melting up, and every dip is bought, and every dip is bought, and vol gets crushed, and vol gets crushed, and vol gets crushed. Eventually we'll probably see a 33 cent or a 33%. Well, that says dollars, but it's supposed to. It says dollars, but it's supposed to be percent. No, it's supposed to be dollars. That's right. I've been working too long. Of course, it's supposed to be dollars. Okay. Jeez. All right. 33 cents. Well, that, like I say, maybe someday, if we keep going like we're going, but at some point we're going to have a 10, 15, 20% correction. Boom. it'll boost the vol back up and reset all these prices and all that kind of stuff. That's kind of the way the market works. It's like a forest fire. Forest fire comes through and cleans out the old brush. The market does the same thing. All right, IWMY. Like I said, I finally got these bottom three lines right. Anything above that, look at that now. I mean, but these bottom three lines are finally correct. So they sold the 2035 strike. They're 3 points in the money right now. So they're making about 3/4 of the money they're trying to make. They're up 13 cents a share on the month right now, which isn't bad. Dividend is 68 cents right now, which is bad, or which is on the low side. Like I say, it's only 3 days in. So now let's go to USOY. I even got this one caught up. This one hasn't been caught up in forever. Oh my God, this one's a cluster. But anyway, this one took most of the time, but I got this one caught up as well. So look at this fund. They got just overnight. It probably happened because of the X day, but they just about doubled, not double, but they added 60% or so to their assets under management, right? Yeah, about 60%. That's a pretty good estimate. That's nice. So what they were able to do with that is they took all that money and they sold 385 puts at the 82 strike. Now, on Friday afternoon, they sold 310 at the 80 strike. Well, since then, we've been rallying. Oil's blowing up. Let's see what oil's doing. Well, actually, it's going sideways since Friday. We were blowing up last week. Yeah, well, we weren't. Now we are blown up again. See, I'm so far behind. I didn't even know oil had broken out. Gosh darn it. All right. I appreciate the few of you guys that are still here on my channel. Also, my channel is just about, I almost didn't get paid this month. I used to make 400 a month. In my first month, I made 400 a month. In my second month, I made 450 or something. Then the very next month, I made 150, which was last month. And now I'm down to 100. It's like, I think maybe people, I don't know. I don't know if I'm probably being shadow banned. Who knows? But that's what it's like. It's like, I just made the best video of my life. That video, the last video I did had 442 views. I used to get more views than that on this morning update video. I used to get 1,000 views on the morning update video. I made a great video that went back and showed if you took $100,000 worth of Tesla and used different money management techniques, how you would have come out. If you reinvested 2/3 of the dividend, if you reinvested all the dividend, it was a great, it took me 2 weeks to make this. I spent the whole 2 weeks prior to going to New York building that spreadsheet. Corey helped me. She got it started. And then I worked for 2 weeks on it, and it still was jacked up, but Corey's too busy to help me. And she was going to New York too. And her channel's behind just as much behind as mine. So then I had to figure it out when I got back from New York, and it took me another 4 days probably. And then I made that video. It took me 2 days to shoot the video, and I get 442 views. It's the best video ever. The too long don't read is it doesn't work to just buy Tesla shares and think you could sell off a little. That's not going to work. That's not going to work for income investing. Some people say just buy growth assets and sell a little bit. Well, I shouldn't say it's not going to work. It didn't work in the past year and a half with, but if I could get some more, oh my God, you guys just don't know that is the best series. And I'm trying to turn that spreadsheet into a template where all I have to do is put the ticker of the new thing in, and then I can produce the same report like that without having to work 2 weeks. But I can't figure out how to do it. And like I said, Corey's more behind than I am because she has a job and tries to do all this, and she has 4 girls. So anyway, if any of you guys know anything about spreadsheets and want to help, I'd appreciate it because I'm screwed. Like I said, it used to be worth it for me, when I was making $400 or $500, I'd sit here all day and jack around and, not a big deal. But now that this is actually costing me my subscriptions for the live quotes and option strat and all the stuff I subscribe to because of this channel. I'm negative now. Like I say, it's like I've been shadow banned or something. I think it's just people don't want to hear the message that I'm putting out there, which is there's no free money. That's not a popular message. Anytime you think you discover it, like the Tesla crash trade, that's why I haven't been pumping it so hard because, and I'm on the record saying there's going to be a tremendous loss someday. one side's going to be capped out, one side's going to lose 3%, and the other side's just going to make 0.5%. You're going to have a 2.5% loss in your, in your account on a theoretically lower risk trade. So that's why I haven't made any content about it yet. At the same time, I'm fascinated about it. So that's all I talked with Jay about in my video in New York. That's all we talked about is the Tesla trade. So it would have been great if I could have got that out prior to yesterday. Maybe I could have saved some people. Jay said the same thing. Jay said, yes, there's going to be a tremendous loss on some days because what you're doing is it's a short synthetic. It's a short strangle. And a short strangle, that means your loss is unlimited on both sides. It's not a short iron condor like Jay was calling it. And I corrected him on that. And during the panel, he thanked me for correcting him. It's a short strangle. Short strangle is a risky trade. It's also a super rewarding trade. Anyway, I apologize that I haven't got my content out on it. I don't know. Like I say, who knows? I was planning on getting it out today. I promised yesterday to get it out today, but that's before I, now I don't feel like. What happens is by the time I get through doing the spreadsheet, I don't feel like doing anything else. So, all right, guys, I'll stop bitching. But anyway, go watch that video, share it with people. That's the best video I've ever made. 442 views. I don't know. I mean, it's just boggles my mind. Like I say, the message don't, I get that people don't want to hear the message, but my message has been the same. My message was the same when I was there's never been free money. I think maybe some of the haters out there have a way to cancel a channel or something. I've heard about when people build up a channel and then it just disappears because I think that maybe some people that are erosion truthers or for some reason have it in for me have canceled my channel. But in any event, all right. So what else do we need to look at? Okay, the Tesla crash trade. Well, so let me show you what I've been working on. So this total return worksheet right here, the best thing I've ever done. I mean, bar none. I can't believe how good it is. Now, Corey got it started, but then I figured out how to do all the hard stuff, in my opinion. How to design the algorithm to make it where it can take the dividend and do what it's supposed to do. I can just copy the cells down and it can do it. There's like 4 different money management strategies and it can do what it's supposed to do. That's what I spent weeks on. So now what I need help on is where it's yellow. I just want to put the date in. I want to put that one asset and then the other asset that I'm trying to compare it with. And then I want to put maybe the starting balance, so I could do it on $1 million balance too, or whatever. That it should be simple. All the other formulas are in here. I mean, it should be simple, but I've been trying. I cannot figure it out. So anyway, if someone wants to volunteer, that'd be great. Or if someone has any idea how to do it, that'd be awesome. At the same time, I don't want this spreadsheet getting out. So I don't know. I guess I'm just screwed. Someone wants to tell me how to do it. I just don't know about sharing it with someone. I would share it with some of you, but I'm just not going to share it with the first person that responds to this. Anyway, but if it's one of my friends and you know how to do this, let me know what the secret is because I have no idea. All right. So what else do we need to do? I guess that's it. Let's look at the market. Yeah, look at that crash down 9%. Now, of course, what happened, and did I have an update? Oh, yeah. God damn it. Did I have an update yesterday on Tesla crash? I'm trying to think. I also record stuff all the time that I never broadcast. I tried to do an end of day update, but I recorded it 3 times, and I kept getting somewhere, and then the spreadsheet would have an error. I'd fix it and go back and re-record it, fix it, go back and re-record it. It was like 8 o'clock by the time I did it the third time. And it's like an end of day report. No one's interested anymore. So I blew it off, but I think I did talk about it in that report. But in the morning report, I usually show this chart, and I did show this chart yesterday. Okay. Right. And yesterday in the morning, we were right here. So as soon as we're over the strike price, that means they're capped. And I said, I hope they roll out. Well, guess what? They didn't roll out. So they're still capped. So they have no more money they can make from this position outside of the theta decay on the outside of the time decay, which is a small part. Now this position could be fine again if Tesla goes back the other way. Maybe no big deal if Tesla goes back to 205 by Friday. No harm, no foul, right? But Tesla also could keep going up. So, but that's the weakness of this trade. So let's talk about this trade real quick. So let's go back and look how you would have done. That the idea is the price has to stay between the yellow and red. Okay, so there was the first week with red. Red is the inverse strikes, the covered put strikes. So it blew out those strikes the first week. But then it came back, and the second week it was running right between the yellow and above the red. Third week, it blew out the strike, but then came back. So it was between the yellow and red still. Between the yellow and red. Between the yellow and red. Max profit, max profit, max profit. That's how these trades work. This is a short volatility trade. When you buy both of these, you're betting against volatility, right? This week, same thing. Both sides won. This week, probably no. This week, this side got blown out. So the past 2 weeks have been rough. But before that, all the weeks should have been max profit if you had, or max profit. Should have been a nice, healthy profit if you had both of these. So that's the way a trade like this works. Trades that are short volatility trades, they make small amounts consistently. They're like hitting singles. You're like Pete Rose. If you're short volatility trades, though, occasionally you lose large amounts. If you've ever traded strangles or iron condors, you can go along for 6 months and win every one of them. And then you can get in a runaway market in a bad situation. And even if you roll a couple of times and stuff, you're screwed. There's nothing you can do because you made an anti-volatility bet and then volatility happened. Okay. So what's the solution for this? Well, one solution for this is like anything else, allocate. This should be a fixed income investment. Okay. So no more than 20% of your portfolio. And you aren't going to put your whole 20% of your portfolio on this one trade. Let's say you have 10 income investments. I would consider the Tesla crash trade an income investment. So if you have $1 million accounts, you have $200,000 worth of fixed income, it'd be reasonable to have $20,000 in a trade like this. Okay. So, but now $20,000 in a trade like this today, one side's down 9% and the other side's only up 1%. So you'd be down 8%. All right. Well, 8% on $20,000 isn't very fucking bad. You'd be just fine, right? So everyone just needs to chill out and allocate. Don't trade. 20% on 20,000 if you had $1 million is nothing. So you wouldn't even be worried about it. And not only that, you would have made money all these other weeks, right? That's the way it works. Okay, so allocate, don't YOLO. There's no free money, and this proves it. And I wish I would have had my interview with Jay out because, like I said, in the interview with Jay, I mentioned a day like today. And it would have looked great if I would have put that interview out yesterday and then today happened or whatever, because it would have looked like I knew what I was talking about, which is rare, but occasionally I do. But on this, if someone has it and you're overloaded, if you're worth $1 million and you have more than $20,000 in this position, cut it back. It's too much risk for me. I mean, you make your own decision, but I mean, if you had $20,000 of $1 million in this thing, you'd be fine. You'd be golden. So anyway, just keep everything in perspective. But allocation's your main defense for a lot of these things. The same thing with these covered call funds that have so much erosion. Okay, yeah, they have so much erosion. I mean, like on triple QI, its price is down. Its price is down 25%, but yet it's paid a 40% dividend. So it's total return of about 15% on the year, which is great. Okay, so but even that 15%, yeah, that sucks. You have to factor it in. Remember, it's 15% on $20,000. So it's $3,000 on $1 million portfolio. It's not a big deal. It's not that it doesn't matter. People that say it doesn't happen or doesn't matter, no, that's not true. Of course it matters. You have to factor it in. So there's a little something called rebalancing. So what you would do, obviously, as that balance got lower, even if you didn't do Max's rule of 2/3 investing, at the end of the year, you're going to look at your portfolio and you're going to go, gosh, my triple QI, I made 15% total return on it, which is pretty good. The market was up 30%. That's pretty good for a covered call fund. Get half the upside. Okay. Well, but now I only have half my capital left, but I still made 15% total return. So maybe I'll just replace some of that capital and build it up at the end of, to start with 20,000 again the following year. I mean, it's the most basic thing in the world, that's the way rich people allocate. You allocate, you don't YOLO. You allocate, you never be in trouble with any of these. Okay. All right. Well, that's my speech for today. Allocation is good, is a good thing. All right, guys. What else do we have to look at? Do we got anything else to look at? So Tesla's up the most. GME's going again. It's up 2.4%, but it's just a blip on the chart. That's so funny. All right. AMD's up 1.5. That's nice. Oh yeah, I've been showing AMD's and AMZ or Amazon strike. I guess they're AMZ strike prices. So AMD still has upside to go. So, that's fine. AMZ trades Amazon options. Boy, that's a good looking chart right there. I like the way that looks. That might even be a good setup for calls. Anyway, I don't know. Maybe not. All right. Well, anyway, Amazon's nowhere close to being, or AMZ's nowhere close to being capped. Google having a great day. Remember a couple of years ago when Pelosi was on the last day of the year, he sold a few $100,000 worth of Google stock, and everyone thought that he knew something because, and oh my God, he sold it for like 89. It was the exact low. Here, let's look at that. It just cracks me up, these people. I mean, I get that they hate, that they don't agree with Pelosi's wife's politics, but then to try to turn him into some kind of, Warren Buffett or something just cracks me up. Just insane. Yeah, he sold right here. It's obviously a tax loss selling, a tax loss harvesting. The end of the 2 days before the end of the year, he sells and it shows up on some report, and and all these people are out there. Oh, we know something about Google. It's antitrust. It's because it's what he thought it was because Nancy was going to file some kind of antitrust on it or something, and that was before them. Oh, it's just not fair. They can trade when they know that they're going to do antitrust. Well, how'd that work out for you guys? How did that work out for you? It's at 184 now. I don't agree with Nancy Pelosi's politics. Okay, yeah, I mean, I tend to be more conservative, but my Lord, to just develop just so much hate. Just because because you disagree with their politics, that you give people bad advice. And there was people that really thought it was the end for Google. Anyway, I said I was going to stop ranting, and then I started again. This is kind of fun. Maybe I'll think of something else to rant about. Wish this was a live stream. You guys could ask me questions and get me going on a rant, huh? All right. Well, let's look at some of these other funds. We'll look at Coinbase and Coney. Okay, now I put it on the daily, so we need to probably... It's kind of fun to look at the dailies on occasion, though. Anyway, but you can see even on the dailies, the red bar, the price is at the bottom. So the price is 227. So we're under both strikes. So we're fine on that high yield fund. Here's Mr. kind of trending down lately. On the daily chart, Mr. kind of started to downtrend back here on the 13th of June and hasn't been able to reverse it yet. Even retested the start of the downtrend, and the test held, and it's making a new low. So interesting on Mr. Now Mr.'s pretty much directly tied to Bitcoin from what I've heard. Yeah, very similar looking chart. Now I was making this bull wedge in the shorter time frames, but I haven't updated it in a while. But that's actually a bullish. That is actually a bullish pattern right there. When they break it, they come back and test it. That's actually a place. It's a low risk entry place. If a person wanted to, they could buy Bitcoin here. I wouldn't buy Bitcoin, but I'd buy one of the funds that trades Bitcoin, buy Beto or something, or buy Maxi. That's what I do. But buy Maxi here, and then if it gets too much under this line, the signal was wrong. If it gets under 61, makes a new low, on this bar. It was wrong, but you can, right here, you can have $1,000 risk. I mean, in Bitcoin price, you equate that to a maxi price, call it, $500 risk. I don't know, whatever, buy a share amount you're comfortable with, 1,000 shares or whatever. But if the Bitcoin gets under, drops too much further, then it was a bad signal. And that bad signals happen sometimes. You can see right here the same thing. We broke the bull wedge, came back and tested it 3 times. Granted, the test held. And look, so on that one, using the same thing, the test in the bottom of the most adjacent bar, 58 would have been your stop loss, 61 would have been the entry place. It got up as high as 72. So, of course, it's come all the way back. So, anyway. But the guy that was watching this pretty close, probably when they, who knows, but but that right there to me is an interesting setup, just like back here, where you could potentially get 10 or 15 units of upside for every 2 units of downside. Those are the kind of trades I'm in. And also this damn, I need to get back to my own option trading. I haven't made my own option trades since I've been back from New York, and I'm usually pretty good at them. All right, guys. Well, like I say, I really will stop bitching this time. So I think we've looked at all the funds we need to look at. We looked at Tesla crash. Did we look at NVIDIA yet? I don't think we looked at NVIDIA, which of course is NVIDIA chart we're going to look at. I haven't been following this one for as long, but now these guys have a massive ladder. The price keeps going lower, and first they had the 132 sold, then they sold then they wrote the 129s like a few days ago. Then yesterday they wrote the 126s. They're just rolling down as they get more money in. More money's coming in every day, and they're just laddering that strike. All right, now I'm going to let you guys go. I appreciate you guys listening to my bitching. If you guys have any ideas on the spreadsheets, let me know. The Jay interview will be out someday. Who knows? I mean, it should have been out today, but I mean, I just tell you, it's not going to get done. It's not just that the interview is so hard to get done. So here's the thing about the interview. I was prepping another thing with the questions I was asking him, and I'm designing another spreadsheet. So, and I asked him questions about those spreadsheets, but now I have to have that spreadsheet done before I can show the interview. So, and I can't get that spreadsheet done because I can't figure out this other. I can't get anything to work. Okay, so. And this spreadsheet looks like shit too. I've just come to all my spreadsheets look like shit, and that's fine if they work. I mean, I know it's not, I'm sorry you guys have to look at them, but I guess if they work. So this is my Tesla crash spreadsheet where what I'm trying to show is that if somebody just bought 100 shares of each, they don't do as well as somebody that delta weights it. So I'm having to build the formula to delta weighting it. It's a little bit complicated, but anyway, so that's what's holding up the Jay interview. So as soon as I can get this done, well, then I still have a couple of hours of editing just on the Jay interview itself, but that's another thing. So be looking for the Jay interview hopefully tomorrow, and be looking for the interview with the other fund manager a few days after that. I want to give Jay's interview, 2 or 3 days to play. We'll see how it's doing. It may only get 400 hits. If it's like my other stuff, it's not, no one's going to watch it. So, all right, guys, I appreciate it. You guys have a good day.